Thanks for staying with us. So moving on now, a bill that seeks to protect students in the nation's tertiary institutions was passed for the third reading in the Senate. According to the report, actions such as whistling, sexual compliment, or even winking at a lady are now offenses. Joining us on the show is the chairman of the Committee on Judiciary and Legal Matters, Honorable Opeyemi Bamidele, who actually sponsored this bill. Good morning, sir. Are you there?
Good morning. How are you?
Very good. So, are you saying that a man cannot wink at a woman in the university anymore now? They were accusing him of sexual harassment.
Well, I think it goes beyond that. You wink. It will all depend on how you do it and how it is conceived by the person at whom you are winking. I mean, the whole essence of this bill is to prevent inappropriate behavior. And I know it is a very subjective thing.
Exactly.
But then there's a definition box. Unfortunately, the definition box itself gives a definition.
We're having connection issues.
It's a wink.
Okay.
So we're not going to give a new definition to winking. I mean, winking is as defined, in the various dictionaries. But like I said, it is more about trying to prevent inappropriate behavior. So if a lady in the tertiary institution, also identifies winking as one of the series of, sets of misbehavior exhibited by an educator, then of course it becomes part of our own evidence.
No. Okay. Go ahead. Okay.
If a lady identifies winking as maybe they're just walking on the corridor and and the lecturer just thinks, oh,
you look nice.
She looks nice. Hi, and then gives her a wink and moves on. Then she reports him and says, oh, he was harassing me sexually.
How does she prove that?
How can she prove that? How can she and how can he say, look, he was innocent. I just thought she looked nice.
Exactly.
Well, as you know, our court would always adopt the standard of a reasonable man. In other words, what is winking and at what point does it become offensive to a reasonable man? In this situation, it's the lady in question that will be able to describe the manner of the winking. And this is not new. Let me also add that what this bill has attempted to do and has achieved is to propose an amendment to the existing Act on Sexual Harassment. So this is not a new addition to the bill. It has always been a part of the law. And I think what is most important is for all of us to really understand the objectives of this bill. Basically, which is to prohibit the offense of sexual harassment of students in our tertiary institutions and to criminalize the act of neglect or failure of administrative heads of tertiary educational institutions to address complaints of sexual harassment within a specified period of time. These are the new additions, to the existing law.
Senator, the bill is really quite specific, with the things that could be determined as sexual harassment. I would like to know what informed these, making it so specific like this.
Well, because a lot of time it's difficult for the victims to prove, their case. And unless the law becomes more specific, because when you have a law that is nebulous, or for whatever reason that is so vague, and the burden of proving the guilt, is on the person who is alleging it, as it is in our criminal adjudication system, then it becomes very difficult if the law itself is not as specific as possible. And our hope is that at the end of the day, nobody will even get punished under this law because it is meant to be a deterrent. And if no one commits this offense, then it's not even going to be an issue. But if some people still feel, I mean, they cannot do without it, and they continue to make our tertiary institutions, you know, so much a non-conducive environment. Then the law will have to take its course, and where that happens, you have to make it easier for victims to be able, you know, to prove their case.
Senator, in a situation where a lecturer legitimately falls in love with a student, this is consensual, they're both adults, and they plan to get married.
Yes.
I mean, was that considered in composing this bill?
Yes, that's part of the new clauses we have introduced. That will be itself a defense, you know, to an allegation of sexual harassment. Marriage is a defense.
Okay.
Except where such a marriage purportedly is to a minor, anyone that is below age 18, then there's strict liability. That will be a per se offense. And because it is deemed that someone below the age of 18 is not equipped, you know, to mentally give a consent.
Okay, Senator, just one more thing concerning this marriage. You know, I was talking of how specific the bill is, but when it comes to marriage, it says Clause 5 provides that for purposes of offences created in Clause 4 of this bill, it shall be a defense that the educator and student are legally married. Shouldn't it be legally married to each other? Because I feel some very smart lawyers may want to work around this. Legally married to each other, or it doesn't, interpretations.
Well, I mean, that they are married. If they are married, they're married. Husband and wife.
To each, okay.
Sir, still on this marriage.
Yes.
They meet each other at the university, and then he proposes, they fall in love. He proposes, they're not yet married, but they plan to get married. Yes. Will he be charged with sexual harassment? They're not yet married, though, but they plan to.
Well, please remember again that this law comes into effect upon a complaint by the victim. So if there is no such complaint because they are both in love with each other and nobody has said, I'm being harassed, then the law is not activated.
Okay. Senator, it talks about the punishments that you can get if you are found guilty.
Yes.
Could you please, sort of highlight these punishments and fines for us? Well,
punishment is actually in two ways. One, for the victim, if found guilty, you know, then the other one has to do with the university administrator, the school administrator. If you fail to deal with this matter, you know, I mean, as at when due, because part of the problem too is that a lot of school administrators just don't do anything about it. Some people will tell you it's because they don't want to offend their colleagues, the other lecturers, you know. So basically, as to the punishment, the bill is providing for a penalty. That's in section 10 or clause 10 of the bill is providing for a punishment of for imprisonment, you know, for a period of 14 years, you know, or a payment of a fine.
Now, in a situation where...
Or both.
Okay, in a situation where the lecturers are being falsely accused, or this concocted story of rape against the lecturer, maybe for different reasons, is the lecturer being protected by this bill?
Yes, we also introduced a clause, which is basically to protect the lecturer. That at the end of the day, if a lecturer is tried and is found not to be guilty and is discharged and acquitted on the basis of the fact that it was driven by false allegation, then of course there's a clause for punishment, which also could include expulsion from the tertiary institution itself.
Shouldn't it be commensurate with? Okay, go ahead, Mikey.
So, sir, I just want to commend you, sir, for even looking at this, you know, coming up with this bill, because I think it's important that our students are protected. Now, you know boys too are abused.
Yes.
Have you protected, in what way are you going to protect them?
Well, they are protected under the same law because we have tried to do it in such a way that it covered, you know, both gender. You know, in recognition of the fact that it could be either way, even though one is much more prevalent in our society as it is, unfortunately. But it's the same thing that would apply.
Okay, so what's the status of the bill right now? We know both houses have passed it. We're waiting for the presidential assent, correct? Or when do we see that the bill will be actually passed into law?
Well, once we're done with all that we need to do in the National Assembly, including the conferencing, to be sure that both chambers are on the same page, the next thing will be to communicate it to Mr. President, and hopefully, getting an assent to this should be timeless, and we don't envisage any problem in that regard. And thank you for your commendation, really. I will be taking it on behalf of, one, the major sponsor of the bill, Senator Ovie Ogmagege, and all the other 106 other co-sponsors, one of the senators. Because 107 signatures won with this bill because of its importance and the need for all of us to protect our daughters, our sisters, you know, our women, especially.
And our sons, too.
In the tertiary, and our sons. Thank you so much. Our sons and brothers in the tertiary institutions.
Thank you very much. It's been great having you on the show.
Really, my pleasure. And I want to thank you, ladies, for the great job you are doing for this country. We are all proud of you. And your producer, Dolakot, said to me this morning, we need to talk to you so that you'll be blessed among women. And I know, blessed am I among women.
Okay, before I let you run off very quickly, is castration being considered at some point in this sexual harassment?
No, ma.
Okay,
no,
just checking.
Please, let me say this too. What we are doing here is to take this a little further. I mean, the essence of a parliament is for us to continue to amend our law based on circumstances, and as even courts conduct trials based on this new law, there will be the need for constant and continuous amendment based on the perception by the civil society and other sectors of the Nigerian society.
Fantastic.
We'll continue to make it better.
All right. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us. We appreciate your call. We're going to go on a break now. When we come back, we'll take more tweets. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. So before we run off, we're going to take tweets from the previous topic.
Let me just take this one from the
previous
previous topic first.
Yes.
Baba God's firstborn says, we were tutored here in Nigeria to live with fear and respect as the African culture. You mess up, even in your dreams, you are still dodging slaps, slippers, broom, and omologu. But in the abroad, they sit and talk. I have to take that one.
Okay. I am Stretchy says, the African way is still the surest way. I mean, look at all of you on the show. Aren't you all products of Africa's style of parenting? And then PJ Comedian says, sorry, Oyinbo system is different from our own here. Abroad, if a child goes astray, there's a system to take care of him or her. Here, if a child goes astray, the system will show him or her pepper. So before that happens, Nigerian parents will rather slap the pepper out of you.
Let me take some of Yakub, then I'll come to you, YK. Okay. Yakub, are you there? Thanks for calling.
Yeah, Mariah, good morning.
Go ahead, please.
And a good morning to you on the studio. Happy birthday to you, Miriam.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so
Mariah,
much.
I hope Sister Nima is doing fine.
Oh, she's perfectly okay. Trust me. We spoke to her
Thank you very much.
recently. She's fine.
Mariah, I really thank Honorable Opeyemi Bamidele and the other co-sponsor of that very particular bill, including Ovie Ogmagege and the rest of the team. You see, but you said something very, very important. And then I hope they will consider that as time goes on, which is castration. Because a situation whereby an adult, a father, or people that is old, rape 3-month-old baby, I believe such person should be able to castration because what judgment are you going to give to that person? You send him to life in prison. At the end of the day, he may find his way out of that place again. So I believe they should consider that as long run. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay,
Then I have a tweet from the last topic. He says, my question is this. Can a lecturer check a student of the university who he is not teaching? Nobody is looking at that. I think check, Marian says, means to toast. We didn't get to ask him that question. So if
somebody was saying that, what if the child dies? What if the student dies? That's another issue. When you are being raped or sexually molested and something happens and the child and the student dies. Okay. So I'm not sure if that was considered in the bill, but something we'll ask the senator. Any more tweets for us as we wrap up?
Ashipa James says, there are several methods that are available in parenting, some of which include flogging, communication, hybrid of both. Just adopt the one that is most effective for your family.
Inspired by You says, I still ensure our culture and African values of respect, heritage, attitudes, and human relations with people is taught to my child and myself. Living is a positive example of fatherhood within the way I relate with others. The foundation is very vital with balance.
Let me take this call from Fatoki. Fatoki, are you there? Thanks for calling.
Yes, good morning.
Morning.
And happy birthday to the lady there. Yes.
Oh, thank you. Miriam.
This is of sexual harassment. Now, this is it. I think everybody is just looking at, I want to take it from the angle of harassment generally, or abuse generally. There's a form of psychological abuse, which is not necessarily sexual. For example, a lecturer comes into the class and says to a student, they're going to fail this course no matter what you do. That's an abuse in itself. It's not sexual. So that child, throughout the space of that course, it will be demoralized. You get what I'm saying? And going to the issue of sexual abuse, it is two-sided. Nobody is looking at the fact that men also or boys in the university can be abused. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I think you look at harassment generally, both sexual, psychological, mental, although sexual can bring about mental abuse too.
All right.
But
thank you very much for your...
So he's saying that there's some harassment that goes on in schools that is not sexual. So lecturer will say to you from the beginning, there's nothing you guys will do that will make you pass this course.
I went to an all-girls school. As a student, I did have a lot of where teachers, because I was Fela's daughter, would harass me. Not sexually in any way, but it was, why are you always wearing a sweater? And some kuti, come here. Why are you always, And I found it really, and you would see that teacher coming, you just want to dodge because she was going to pick on you because of who...
We have to wrap up, but I know you wanted to thank somebody.
Yes, I want to thank someone. Moi Olua, she follows me on Instagram, Real Corn Cake. She sent me a cake all the way from Abuja. I'm really shocked. I'm surprised. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
It's really lovely. Thank you.
That was very thoughtful of you.
Yes.
Thank you. What's her handle?
At Real Corn Cake.
That's Real Corn Cake.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much. Very thoughtful of you. Thank you. Okay, that's a wrap, YK. Any tweets that is popping that you want to?
Oh, no. I haven't looked at the tweets. Unfortunately.
All right.
Sorry, Twitterers.
All right. That's all we can take, guys. Have a fabulous day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.
You can watch Your View on TVC every Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Nigerian time on DSTV channel 418, GOTV channel 27 and channel 47, StarTimes channel 121 and channel 307, Play TV channel 801 and channel 190, UHF 49, Sky channel 515 for UK viewers. Watch live on Facebook at TVC Connect and on our website tvcentertainment.tv/livestream.